when I think holiday glam, I think more so of like the reds and the golds and just the kind of vintage glam of it all. So I guess that's what we're gonna try to recreate here today. I make no promises if it's gonna go well because I'm not a makeup artist. I've already washed my face. I've used a serum and a moisturizer, and I have pretty much a clean palette here. The moisturizer I used today was actually a old time favorite of mine, which was the Glam Glow Setter moisturizer, and I realize now I have no idea why I loved that moisturizer so much because my face feels hella gross. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to prime the skin, and the primer I'm going to use today is actually something I've been using a lot recently since receiving it in my Birchbox, and this is the Whish Botanical Primer. I really am a big fan of this. I didn't think I would be, but yeah. I like it because it goes on clear and it somehow makes my makeup last a little bit longer throughout the day. So I'm just going to apply that onto my hands and then apply it onto my face all over. I'm going to go in and use my foundation, and I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I'm in the shade number Y245, and I'm just going to be using my Real Techniques foundation brush. I find that this brush is the best for applying this foundation. Shake well before use. Okay. And with this, I don't really use a lot of product on it. Like, I find myself starting with one pump, and then I do end up having to go back in with a second, sometimes even third. The thing about this foundation that I like about it is that it's not full coverage, but it can be if you build it up, and it doesn't look super cakey when I do apply it. It's very weird to explain. I had a friend who said that she got it and she absolutely hated it, but for whatever reason, like, the person who recommended it to her was a lot like me, who said that she really liked it, she loved it, and it really just does a good job. I am somebody, because my skin has been so rampant lately, that this just works best for me without giving it too much coverage and without making it look too orange or yellow based or whatever it might be. This just seems to give me the best overall coverage. I feel like I was just kind of sitting in the dark, so we did a little bit of a scenario change. Not a drastic change, but a change nonetheless. I want to go ahead and conceal because, again, my skin has been running kind of rampant. Just in the sense that, like, I have had some deep, like, cystic acne along here. It's been a mess. So I want to go ahead and just kind of conceal a little bit. Concealer is not something I do every day, but if I am to do a full holiday glam beat, I probably would use concealer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the areas that I know are problematic, which is going to be down here. Any, like, other redness I have, so up there. And we'll go there. By the way, I'm using the Kat Von D Lock It Concealer Cream in shade 111, which is neutral. And how did I already get mascara on my hands? Anywho. And then I'm also going to take it and just kind of run it underneath my under eye. Just like a little wedge piece. Usually they say don't use the circles, but use the wedge. But because I'm not really going for a full lightness, the wedge will work just fine. I don't really have a concealer brush I use. Usually I use a beauty blender, but it's underneath my tripod for my camera right now. So instead, I'm just going to use that same foundation brush I used earlier, and I'm just going to kind of buff it in. Part of the face that I will be realistically honest with you, I don't do every day. And that is because I feel that this stuff makes me look extra geeky. But needless to say, this is a full holiday glam. It wouldn't be a full holiday glam if we didn't bake. So I'm going to go ahead and bake now. And I'm not going to do a crazy bake. This is going to be an easy bake oven. And I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Lock It translucent setting powder. Take a big fluffy face brush, and I'm just using the e.l.f. one that I've had for years. And then I'm just going to kind of take it, and I'm not going to go crazy with it. I'm really only going to go in my shiny, oily prone areas. So along my chin, I'll go ahead and do along my nose, like the sides of my nose, but for whatever reason it's super duper oily. So I'll do around my nose, and then whatever's left, I'll kind of just like loosely apply it, like not like buffing it into the skin, but just kind of like, again, like placing it while I do other things. Does that make sense? Go ahead and do my brows next. and I'm just gonna shape them into place by using a brow brush, and not with any product or anything on it. I'm just shaping them into the direction I want them to go in. The next thing I'm gonna do, now that my brows are kind of loosely into the shape I want them, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Kat Von D Tattoo Brow in the shade Medium Brown. This isn't my most preferred way of doing brows, but it's been my go-to way of brows as of late. Really lightly outline where I want the hair to kind of like stay in. Using short strokes, fill in the hair that's missing. I don't want it to look like super heavy-handed, so I'm really just using like short flicks of the wrist. And then once that part is done, I then go in with the same brow brush from before, and I just make sure that all the hair is in the same direction and all the hair is filled in and it doesn't look too dark. And this will also help kind of disperse some of that heavy flow that might come out, because this stuff, it's good, but it does tend to get a little thick in points. So that's why I use the brush to just make sure to go over it again. I am somebody who doesn't put a lot of focal attention to the front of my brow. Instead, like, I like to kind of make it a little bit thicker in the end part, just because, again, that's more how a natural brow looks. So I try not to deposit a lot of product up into the front part here, but more so in the tail end, because that's where my balding, so to speak, happens in my brows. I don't understand why it happens. I think it's because of years of plucking and waxing and whatever else I've done to my brows. I think that's why. So then, for safe measure, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Ready Set Brow Gel from Benefit. This is just a clear gel. This is something that I use relatively every day. And I think this is like either my second or third bottle of a repurchase. So that just shows you how much I love it. Now that our brows are done, I'm gonna go back in and do my eyelids, and I'm gonna prime them quick. And for my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to be using the True and Faithful Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and mine is just in the shade Original. Pro tip, always use your ring finger pad of your finger, because for whatever reason, that pad is the softest of all of the pads on your fingers. Who knew? First thing that I'm going to want to do is say a quick prayer to Jesus, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Go ahead and just kind of start defining my eye a little bit, and by doing so, I'm going to go ahead and go in with ColourPop Press Shadow in the shade Paper Tiger, and I'm going to take I don't know what kind of brush I'm going to take. I'm going to take my Visanti Contour Eyeshadow number 4 brush, and I'm going to pick up some of this, and I'm really just going to kind of start deepening the socket in my eye. So just by using short little like buffing motions, I want to create some sort of definition. The basis of what I'm looking for here is I really want it to just kind of be a very subtle golden eye red lip with a killer cat wing. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. If we actually achieve it, will be a goddamn miracle. For whatever reason, this isn't buffing out as well as I want it to. I'm going to go in with a blending brush, and I'm using my Elizabeth Mott blending brush, and I'm just going to soften up the work that I did, because that one brush was just starting to get stuck and it just wasn't doing anything that I needed it to do. I'm gonna pull out a really old palette for you guys, like a really, really old palette, and I'm using the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. That's how old my makeup collection is, right? And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of try to cool this down a little bit, and I wanna go in with the shade Zone. I'm gonna take the blending brush that I have in my hand now, and I'm gonna try to just deepen it up a little bit more. How are you guys doing? How's life? How's everybody doing? I know you guys can't answer me, but you know what? At least I'm asking about you. This isn't just all about me, it's about all of us. I haven't even started my Christmas shopping yet, and today is December 18th. That's a lie. That's a blatant lie, because I've bought one gift so far. And granted, I'm only buying for like 5 people, and a lot of them are going to be gift cards because I am the worst at gift giving. I am a person who hates giving gifts, and I'm also a person who hates receiving gifts. Like, let me rephrase. I like receiving gifts sometimes. I'm the person, I'm awful when it comes to saying thank you, which really makes me sound like a inconsiderate person, but I really don't know how to say thank you half the time, so it's like I hate receiving them because I hate the pressure of like, what if I don't react the right way? So I really am just, Christmas is a very stressful time for me, and more self-induced stress. I want to create a base here so I can create a glitter lid, and I'm thinking straight gold. So what I'm gonna do, I have never done a cut crease on camera before. This is gonna be hella scary, but I have faith in myself. I think I'll be okay. So I'm gonna take my concealer again, which is the Kat Von D one, and I'm gonna apply it right onto the lid where I want to start. Then I'm gonna take a brush, and this isn't even the right brush. This is a lip defining brush. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of paint it on to that little space that I've created. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead and go in again and do the same thing. I really want to kind of cut out that eyelid so I can really create some glitters in there. And by glitter, I literally mean one shade of glitter. This is not the right brush, so if you have a concealer brush, please use it, because this is the only thing small enough that I would have that would get into the area that I need to get into. So please use the right brushes. And also be sure to clean your brushes. I think that's an important lesson to also have here. Take an eyeshadow brush, a little bit on the fluffier side. I'm gonna take some setting spray, and I'm just using my Glam Glow Setter just because it was the first thing I grabbed. I'm gonna saturate the brush. Get the brush there. I'm gonna go in with the shade 1987 down here. I don't know if this is gonna do it what I want to, but I wanna create enough of a base, and if I need to, I could go in with gold pigment. So I'm gonna take my wet brush, and then I'm gonna pick it up, and then I'm gonna start to apply it to where I put the concealer. And this isn't gonna be the right goal that I want for right now. However, I will be able to make this work because I have a gold shadow pigment that I can use. This is something I haven't used in a solid minute. And let's just see, there's no colors in here that I would really use besides this one. This is what I had in mind when I saw Holiday Glam. So this is the single like pigment shade, and this is in the shade Profit. Now I'm gonna take a flatter eyeshadow brush just because the one that I was using was almost a little too fluffy, I think, which is why I was struggling to get it into that crease area. So I'm gonna take a flat eyeshadow brush, saturate it with some setting spray, and then I'm gonna pick up the shade Profit, and I'm gonna paint it on to where I need it to go. I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner now. And I'm gonna be using the EM Cosmetics Illustrative Eyeliner Brush eyeliner. And I'm just gonna go ahead, starting on the outside, which is not at all how I recommend doing this. I wanna create a very dramatic wing. However, you can't just go for the gusto. You have to baby yourself, which is what we're doing now. We're gonna go ahead and baby this. First by creating the base of where we want it to go. Okay, next I've extended this out to about as far as I want it to go. And then from here, we're just gonna go ahead holding and piecing it together. Now, if I could just copy and paste it to the other eye, I'd be so happy right now, but I can't do that. So again, the same. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. And then again, creating your lash line more as a buffer. I haven't decided if I want to do falsies. You know, it's been a solid minute since I've done false lashes. Let's go ahead and do them. My liner looks exactly the opposite on one eye than it does the other. Go ahead and go in with the Social Eyes Vixen lashes. And I need to find my lash glue. I have been using the same lash glue for literally ages. So I'm going to be using the Revlon Precision Clear Lash Adhesive. And then, okay, since this is going to be kind of a 2-in-1 tutorial, I guess, how to recreate this, listen, how to apply false lashes, I like to take a pair of tweezers that have a really kind of sharp point on them. And then I'm gonna go ahead and peel them off of the packaging. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the lash glue. And I like this one because this is the one that turns blue when it's dried. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the entire thing. I don't know if you guys can see me actually doing this. I'm gonna paint the entire thing, and I like to goop mine on there just so that way I know that my lashes aren't gonna move. So, okay. Now that we have the lashes pretty much, I like to kind of just loosely guide them on to where they need to go. And usually I can get it within like a 1-2 swipe. Okay. So now that the lashes are in place, this is not necessarily a step that you need to do, but I like to do this because I like to know my lashes are gonna adhere. I like to take my eyelash curler again, get all of it in there, and press the two together. This way I know that my lashes are kind of all curled into one, and that's what we're working with. I really don't wear false lashes as much as I used to, simply because girls just don't have time for this. She doesn't go out as much as she used to. So false lashes used to be a every weekend occurrence for me. Now you're lucky if I put them on for any. And there, little man. And then also taking the tweezers that we used earlier, so if you need to like correct to where they need to go, they'll listen to you. So now, same thing, getting all the lashes in there and curling and pinching them together so that way we're all friends here. We're gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs, and sometimes I will go through and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on both the top and the bottom. This way, being that we use that gold, you can kind of see the gold lashes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit on the top, not baking them, just enough to kind of cover the gold and also to blend them in together. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing the rest of our face because I realized we haven't done that yet. For my contour today, we're gonna go a little bit gusto today, and we're gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit and the light shade. Now my face is itchy. I'm gonna take my Mata 803 brush, which is a small little artiste-esque brush, and I'm gonna go in with the shade, let's go in with the shade Light Sculpt. I'm gonna pick the product up, which this palette is so like old. Honestly, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very heavy contour, but don't worry, we will buff this out. It will be okay, I promise. The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna just take a small little Flawless airbrush thing. I got mine in my Sephora Rouge. I'm gonna go ahead now and I'm gonna start blending this in. Usually with creams, I don't like to use brushes. I like to use beauty blenders, but we've already had this conversation that it's underneath the tripod, and plus I don't have water up here to. I like to go up in motion, kind of buffing in and out, going up. I don't like to pull it down because then it's going to make it look muddy. Take a little bit of whatever's left on the brush, and I'm going to cut out those jawbones just to kind of create a little bit more of definition in my jaw, so it doesn't look like I have so much of a double chin. I want to go in with the lighter shades. I'm going to go in with this light shade, which is Shade Fair. I'm going to use my finger for this, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of right on the nose. I'm also going to go up on my forehead, and I want to go a little bit on my cheekbone. We're going to put an actual shimmer highlight on there, but I want to like get the area ready, so to speak. So now I'm going to be using a Luxie Precision Foundation brush, which is not the right brush to use for this, but you know what? I have never been known to use the right brushes for anything in life. So now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of put this into the skin and buff it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit, and I have no idea what color I want. I think I want to kind of keep it consistent with the gold, so I want to go in with the shade Golden Dawn, and I am using my Slimmest Glam tapered highlighting brush. And then whatever's left, or you can tip back in, whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and do the tip of my nose, just the very tip. I don't like going all up and down my nose because my nose is so wide that I don't like doing that. My Luxie blush brush, and I'm going to go in with Dandelion from Benefit, which is like one of my all-time favorites, and smiling and putting it onto the apples of my cheek. Be a holiday glam look if it didn't have a red lipstick. So for my lipstick of choice today, I'm going to use the Smashbox Cosmetics Be Legendary lipstick in the shade Color Legendary. So this is kind of in part a review for my Ipsy glam bag, so let's go ahead and go in. I'm not gonna like prop my lips or anything. Lipstick, not a fan. So this is what the final product looks like, so thank you guys so much for watching. It's always truly appreciated. This lipstick and I are gonna go round and round and round, and I will tell you what, I'm not having any of it. So if you guys want to see my review on that, you could check it out in the blog below in the Ipsy glam bag I'm bagging for the month of December. But yeah, not a fan of the lipstick. But needless to say, I am a fan of how everything else came out. I think this is something that you can wear to a Christmas party. This is something that you could wear to a New Year's Eve party. Something that is just very fun and festive, which is why I love this time of year for all the glam looks that people create. Just, I think it's so much fun, and I am living for all of it. So if you guys like my videos, and if you like my content, and if you like me, feel free to subscribe by hitting the button down below and getting notified when I post new Getting Ready's with me. Be sure to do a full breakdown of the products that I used on the blog, which you guys can check out at lifewithsarah.com, 2 H's, 2 K's. And yeah, let me know what holiday looks you recreate this holiday season, whether you're spending it with family, friends, going out, whatever you're doing. Yeah. This stupid lipstick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Love you always. Have a happy holiday season. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.